Justin Herbert's blind side is covered thanks to a record-breaking contract. With Blake Snell returning, the Dodgers embrace reality with a six-man rotation, and Outkick wants us to be offended over former Laker Max Christie. Spoiler alert, we're not. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is July 28, 2025. I am in Portland, but on my way to the airport to go home. And frankly, the backdrop is absolutely lovely. Sorry to spoil it for you with my own face, but so be it. We also added a new subscriber to the Angeleno Familia. This week is getting off to a terrific start. Thanks for getting in on the ground floor. If you like being in the know about LA, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new updates. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. So before we go through the news notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Boston 4, Dodgers 3. If this is Dustin May's last appearance with the Dodgers, it's because, in part, he's the one who allowed all 4 runs. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers are at Cincinnati at 4. So what do you say we get to the news? Two-time Pro Bowl left tackle Rashawn Slater has reached an agreement on a 4-year, $114 million extension, which will make him the highest-paid offensive lineman in league history in terms of annual pay. And it's obviously going to reset the market for offensive linemen in the NFL. Now, how bad did the Chargers want to keep the guy? Glad you asked. $92 million of it is guaranteed, and this actually matters for a reason we'll get to in a moment. Slater was the 13th overall pick back in 2021 from Northwestern. He would have been a free agent next year had an agreement not been reached, but he and the Bolts pretty much knew this union was not going to dissolve. He has taken to Jim Harbaugh's offensive philosophy the same way that Heath Ledger would take to a wheelbarrow full of prescription meds. Too soon? Harbaugh, by the way, he likes to talk about offensive linemen as weapons in the same way everybody else talks about, say, game-breaking wide receivers as weapons. Now, Slater, at the moment, he's been off to the sidelines during training camp because he's a little dinged up. And obviously, he wanted to avoid the risk of a bigger injury while the numbers were being crunched. But this is what makes the contract a risk, particularly the guaranteed money. Slater has a lengthy injury history. He tore a bicep in 2022, multiple ankle injuries in 2023. He missed a game last year with a pectoral injury. You could argue, on one hand, that Rashawn Slater is to the offense what Joey Bosa was to the defensive line. But you could also argue this, and make no mistake, it's a fair thing to argue. When he's available, he dominates. If you want to come up to me and say, the Bolts have the best 2 tackles in the NFL, in Slater and Joe Alt, I wouldn't want to debate you that much. So the Chargers rid themselves of a headache so long as that player can stay on the field. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are bowing to reality. They are going to rework their rotation. Blake Snell is expected to return to the Roto this week, so saith Dave Roberts. Snell, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, threw 76 pitches Saturday in a rehab start over in the Midwest Manure Pit. He was the crown jewel signing of another busy Dodger offseason. But he only pitched twice before he was sidelined with shoulder inflammation. Now, of course, the Dodgers knew the guy's injury history when they signed him in the first place, just like they did Tyler Glasnow. So Snell and or Glasnow missing time, that's baked into the cake. They knew this. They're happy to get Snell back because he tends to pitch better as the season goes on. If you're I shouldn't say long time, but if you're a moderately lengthy Dodger fan, you remember the 2020 World Series. You remember Blake Snell was with Tampon Bay and just flat out shut the Dodgers down until the Rays made the mistake of pulling him. Next thing you know, Everybody's partying it up on the pitcher's mound at the end of the game. But last year with San Francisco, Snell had an ERA of 1.23 in his last 14 starts. So the question is, who does Snell replace? Maybe nobody. For the interim, the Dodgers are going to go with a 6-man rotation. This is also a way of bending to the needs of their Japanese pitchers. Over in Japan, starters tend to only pitch once a week. Shohei Ohtani, for example, will be pitching the next 2 Wednesdays for the Dodgers. Going to a 6-man roto also means that Clayton Kershaw stays, and frankly, if you've seen him, he deserves to stay. The 6th spot, though, now you're looking at a battle. Emmett Sheehan or May. Now, Sheehan has been decent enough in spot starts to say, hey, it should be me. We spoke earlier of May and his 4.85 ERA. And you have to admit, it kind of sucks for the guy. He comes out Sunday. He's finally showing resiliency, by the way, after a series of surgeries. He goes out Sunday and he just starts flaming guys. But then he gets hammered in the 6th. And, well, all of a sudden you just look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Meh will have a bad inning, and because of that, it makes him total look below Meh. Even if May isn't in the rotation, the Dodgers have a ton of arms that have regained health in the last month or so. We still have no idea what would happen for the rotation should Roki Sasaki regain his health at the end of August, which is expected. The Dodgers, by the way, will have until Thursday to decide on their next move for May. It could be bullpen, it could be the 6th spot in the roto, or frankly, it's the trade deadline day. It could be a brand new team. The Dodgers also realize they have too many starting pitchers for their prospect pool to get a decent shake in the majors. As a result, they have shifted one-time phenom prospect Bobby Miller to the bullpen to try his hand in relief. Also, Joe Kelly and the pouty face that angered millions in Houston, he's going to come out this week and throw for the Dodgers. It's kind of an informal look just to see what he's got left. He's pitched twice for LA. People fondly remember him for his first go-round. But that second time? Woof. Now, he did say over the offseason that if he ever pitched again, it would be only for the Dodgers. He just had to wait until half the bullpen had their arms torn off by Liam Neeson in a Naked Gun reboot before he got his chance. As for position players, Ha-Seong Kim was out of Sunday's lineup with what Roberts called a shoulder situation. The manager said Kim will not be out of the lineup for long. To be honest, some time on the bench might do him some good. He struck out 8 times in his last 13 at-bats. Former Laker Max Christie, who was sent to Dallas as part of the Luka Doncic trade, was asked what his favorite day in his entire NBA career was. Quote, "It was when I got traded to the Mavericks," unquote. And Outkick.com was like, oh snap, girlfriend. Like we're supposed to be offended. He wanted to play. He just didn't particularly excel in his time with the Lakers. It happens. People understand that it happens. These people at Outkick are trying to basically convince us that we should be offended, that maybe the Lakers shouldn't have traded for Luka Doncic because Max Christie was going to get mad, which, by the way, he doesn't appear to be mad. He just says he's happy to be in Dallas. I don't know a single Laker fan who would be offended that Max Christie wanted to play. That's all he said. You're going to have to try a lot harder to offend us, Outkick. Just saying. We have said this repeatedly on the program. There are precious few soccer reporters to trust. Very few. The ones I do trust claim Bayern Munich legend Thomas Mueller is about to sign with the Vancouver Whitecaps. The ones I do not trust are claiming that Mueller said he did not want to play for LAFC and told them to kick rocks. Now look, I'm a Galaxy fan. It would be super easy for me to try to twist something around and troll LAFC supporters. But I would be lying. I would. Put the Galaxy LAFC stuff to the side for a moment. The reason that some scribes are asserting that Mueller was going to go to LAFC is because the black and gold have this partnership with Bayern. Fine, it's a partnership. But it's not a partnership to share team legends. It's a partnership to develop future players simultaneously. Munich sees that there's a lot of kids playing soccer in Los Angeles. They wanted to throw some money at LAFC and try and create some sort of partnership to where they could all train together and try and see who can take who in the future. That does not mean that all older Bayern players are coming to LAFC. It doesn't mean that Dennis Bouanga is going to Germany either. Not that that was ever rumored, but you get the idea. So yeah, I don't buy for a second that Mueller gave the finger to LAFC. Besides, if he came to LA, he'd be playing on grass as opposed to artificial turf, which soccer players aren't too keen on. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example, about Justin Herbert being protected completely by Rashawn Slater. Or for that matter, how do you fill out the Dodger rotation now that Blake Snell is coming back? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.